Morning, my mate. Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, well done for Sunday. I'm glad the ball striking held up. And those feels of the shoulder plane, three-quarter swing, all right, the nice set, sort of becoming more habitual and can hold up even though we didn't try and sort of slug away on the range to find something. Okay, that's really critical if we're going to push past this. Okay, we're not trying to find something, just trying to learn how to swing correctly or close to that and just execute that more often, right? So that's where we're at. So yeah, bunker play, obviously, okay, we haven't touched a lot on it lately, but if you are a little bit sloppy and moving around, and very much so if you're not using your wrists, the lag and the release properly out of the bunker is going to lead to very, very inconsistent strikes. And obviously, once you strike it inconsistently, then the distance control and the confidence drops out, right? So I'm guessing, you said you're hitting them quite far. I'm guessing sort of a little bit of standing up, a little bit of early release, and we're just kind of hitting them a little finish and a little over the back of the green. All right, so we just got to figure that out. That's fine. I know, or we know, one of the things I said in this next bit of work is I want this short game holding out. When the body or the posture and stuffing lets us down a little bit, the short game must be nice and neat and tidy. Okay, so it comes from understanding, feel, okay, but making sure we're over the golf ball and making sure we can control the handle. Where is this golf club, right? So if I release early or I get this takeaway, all right, a little open with no lag, okay, it is going to cause short game issues, right? So that's absolutely fine. We know how to fix it. Okay, so bunkers. Your hard pan bunkers, depending, so waist area, a little firmer ground, not too much sand. Depending on the length of the shot and the elevation that you need, I would say 30 yards, stick to lob wedge, all right? And then sort of up to 50 yards sand wedge, and then anything but further go to gap wedge, all right? But what we do is we do want to hit a little bit closer to the ball, all right, when we hit the hard pan. So normal bunker maybe inch and a half behind, hard pan about half an inch behind, okay, but it's not that critical. But out of the hard pan, okay, we need to let this toe release. So your normal release, okay, where the toe turns over, okay, a little bit of rotation of the arms, okay, and the toe turns over. That we have to do out of the hard pan, all right? Out of a soft sand greenside bunker, we can't do that. All right, depending on our low point and stuff, we can hit that either fat or thin. Too much sand, not enough sand. So out of the greenside bunker, we're going to have quite a lot of lag on the backswing, but we need to release the face open so that we can use that edge to cut a consistent depth of sand. All right, so soft sand greenside bunker, okay, that's how we release it. However you feel it, that's your left hand, that's your right hand, that's the club. Okay, so it's an open-faced release and it's quite late, yeah? So we need to set the backswing. And then the hard pan, okay, it's more of the traditional rotary release. Okay, we want that club to bounce and the toe to move. Then we get some consistency in how the ball's going to come out. Right, so that's number one. We're going to practice that in our session. That's number one. Have that lag, control the low point is obviously number two. That goes through all the short game. Okay, right, so warm up. Little towel drills, we've done them before. Okay. Club and a half. All right, and we're doing L to L. All right, so really hinge that thing on the backswing. Don't get yourself there. Okay. So there. Okay, and off you go. Yeah? Club and a half. L shape. Make sure you brush the grass, little L shape. Okay, you can see how soft and active the hands are, yeah? Okay, so that's the warm-up. All right. Then the first drill I want you to do, all right, sorry, just a quick one. Last week's video and practice session that we didn't do, we're going to keep that on the back burner. We're either going to use it end of this week or beginning of next week. So I want you to do this one, please. Okay, so then we're going to do a little trajectory drill as the first drill. Okay, so 30, 40 yards, lob or sandwich. And then we're just going high, low. Okay, so low, narrow stance, ball just back of center, lots of lag. Okay, even a slightly closed face is quite cool. All right, so similar, almost like shut and hold drill. Very similar to that. That's what your low one must feel like. Okay, but make the setup changes. So narrow stance, touch closer to the ball, ball a little bit back. Okay, little hinge and hold with slightly shut face. Okay, so very similar to our shut and hold drill. Okay, that's your low one. And then high one, wider stance. Okay, tweak the face 2 or 3 degrees open in the setup. Okay, so kind of a 9-9 setup with the ball slightly forward, something like that. And then a nice, once again, nice little wristy swing. Okay, and a nice active release at the bottom. So at the bottom, you're trying to release very similar, your high pitch, very similar to a bunker shot, except not quite as open and not behind the golf ball. But same sort of release, trying to sort of take its legs out, yeah? Hitting the bottom of the ball. Okay, so slightly wider stance, ball slightly forward of center, 2 degrees open, nice and wristy, and then just slide that thing underneath. Okay, let that thing release underneath. Okay, you're going to miss hit 1 or 2 in the beginning, it's fine, that's what we're trying to learn. Okay, once you got that, then you've got your bunker technique. All right, but obviously we want it to hold up off the grass. Okay, and then the drill 2 is the different bunker shots. Okay, so start with the line drill. Okay, so I'll send you an image. All right, so line drill in the sand, we just make 2 lines like that in the sand. Okay, not quite a foot apart, maybe a little bit less than that. Okay, and what we're trying to do is hit the back line. All right, and then exit very close to the front line. The back line is the more important, right? So we're going to have 2 lines like that. Okay, so there's our line. Okay, we want to hit that line or close to it as consistently as possible, working our way along. Okay, then you'll figure out once they're consistent where this line needs to be. It's not that important, it just shows you something. Okay, and obviously good visual. All right, so line drill. So you just work your way along, no balls, you just hit the sand. Okay, that's the first part of line drill. So I want you to practice 5 line drills. Okay, releasing open. Okay, so your normal green side release. All right, and then I want you to do 3 where waist area release. Same line drill, but rotary release. Roll release. Normal release. Okay, 5, 3, 5, 3. Okay, and then you work your way along the line. Once you're consistently controlling your release and consistently hitting very close to the back line, then we can put balls there. So then we put balls there, put our 2 lines in. Okay, decide whether we're doing green side release or waist area release, and we try and execute with the balls. All right, when you hit, good and bad ones, okay, but once you hit it, look down and go, where did I enter the sand? How much sand did I take? How did that affect the flight of the golf ball? Okay, right, so a bit of hard work with learning these new releases, deciding which one to use, and then executing it first time. Okay, it's just going to take a few weeks of work, but it all starts with the setup, the knowledge, and the line drill. Once you can control that, then you can chuck everything else in there. Okay, thanks, mate. Very cool little short game workout. This stuff's helpful for our swing as well, so that's very, very good, and we'll keep that other one on the back burner. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you later. Cheers, my mate.